I can remember the first time I crashed into a live center. In this video, I'm going to go over the technical features you need to consider before you invest in a new live center to get the best bang for your buck and to make sure you're actually incorporating all the health and safety elements that are necessary to keep that part in the chuck. There's nothing worse than chucking a part and writing off the cost, especially if you write off the machine in the process. I can remember the first time I crashed into a live center. I just didn't think about the fact that my turning tool, there was a size to it. And that I have a center in my workpiece holding it in the chuck. I was sticking out something like 12 times D, 3-meter bed, big part. I didn't stop to consider the center in the work and facing the part after manually putting on the center. Wham! I learned a valuable lesson, so I thought I would share that with all of you watching here. And of course, that's learning the basics behind what's available in a center. Let's check it out. We're going to be going over options from Rome today. Well, we've got the Flex flat face holders, which really completely eliminate your ability to face the front. However, if it's already faced, which is totally doable, you can see your holding and your RPMs right here. That's a nice straight line. So fancy. This is the stuff that you consult about when you're starting to look at implementing this. Definitely a good time to involve the experts. God knows I still do. Something like this, a slim extended live center has a lower weight limit for the part, but if you're under 200 kgs, I mean, that's what, like 500 pounds? A lot of people are underneath that, and it provides a lot of clearance for that tool, so you don't have to worry about coming and smashing down in the story I shared at the beginning of the video. And there's There's so many options. Here's the one I crashed into, funny enough. It was a decent quality center, but you'll notice that this standard 60 is great for the workpiece weight it can handle. I mean, up to over 10,000 kilos, which is great. However, there's not a lot of room to get in there with your standard CNMG holder. So if you haven't learned that lesson, now you know. Then you've got your basic extended. Now, the workpiece weight's a little bit higher, but you can see that your RPM limits are really there. The takeaways from this video, you need to be considering your workpiece weight. You need to be considering the RPM you're going to be roughing at. So again, if you're working on small diameter stuff, you're going to want to look for those extended Slimline series I showed you that has the lower weight restriction, but the higher RPM range before they lose their retention force. And if you're doing the big heavy parts, like that 12-inch by 2.5 meter length I was talking about in the beginning of the video when I crashed, then you're gonna wanna make sure that you have a heavy duty center that can actually bear the weight of the part you're working on, and you're just gonna have to run it at a lower RPM till you rough out a lot of that material. In manufacturing, there are so many blind spots when we start to consider what we're working on. I know for myself, live centers was one of those. I'm sharing it with you all here so that hopefully you don't have to make the same mistakes. Until next time, keep your spindles turning and earning.